Hey everyone, it's Terry here from the Profit Frog. Just a really casual video today. It's crikey, 30 something degrees outside on a Melbourne day, middle of summer, really sweltering. It's really humid, the typical sticky, humid weather that Melbourne's renowned for. And today it's just been one of those days. I'm on a day off. It's Saturday, perfect day to think about what it is I wanted to achieve going forward. 27 days into January already. It's hard to believe. And the months are going fast. The years are going fast. Like, it felt like 2017 just blinked and gone, and everyone's been saying the same as I have conversations with them. It's kind of crazy because last year was a really big milestone birthday for me, and I kind of hit a bit of a bump in the road. It felt a lot like what happened was the question was in my mind a lot of the time. Where did that time go? And why am I still in this situation that I find myself in? And my situation is just the standard stuff, working, maintaining a job. I pay my rent, get on with my days. But there's a burning itch, a burning desire, an absolute craving for me to get on and be successful in some area of my life that I know is there. It's that little voice that's inside my head that says to me, there's a message I've got inside me that I really feel that I could deliver to people, that people would find really valuable. The other day, last weekend, in fact, I went to a coaching course, short course for 2 days, to see if I was really inclined to take that kind of passage or pathway in education for myself. And I absolutely loved it. Loved it. It was like finding my tribe, and they often used that language while we were there. And it was just amazing and beautiful, incredible, passionate people who really believe in the message that they were delivering about helping people discover that inner voice and understanding what the mission and purpose of your life is, and knowing how to use the voice that is that inner voice, but bringing it to the fore. And today what's going through my head and what I wanted to share today is part of what we need to do is give ourselves permission to be okay with where we're at. It's been a recurring theme in my world to realise that we're doing the best we can with what we've got at the moment in time, the tools that we use, whether they be social tools or financial tools or family resourceful tools, whatever those things mean to you. But for me, I've recognised that I've been resisting a lot of what I believed I was capable of. And I've sort of shut down a lot of the good things that I always believed about myself while I got on with life, because it was about fitting in and fitting into the way society sort of led me to believe I had to be in order to be okay. Part of that made me feel really uncomfortable every time I wanted to be something more. I felt like the eyes of the world were on me and they were all critical. And that's obviously just a perception that I carried within myself. What was really cool over the last weekend was realising that part of me has always been on a mission to be the better version of myself, irrespective of whether my business, the Profit Frog, takes off and goes crazy and becomes, leading number one business in helping other businesses discover their resources, maximize their profits, and discover what it's like to be the, leading business in their field. That's part of what I want to do for you as a business owner. If that's, if you're listening to this message, I'd love for you to understand that's what's driving what I do. I'm on a mission for myself, though, to be the best person that I can help you. I need to be the best version of myself. And I think this is the message that 2018 can all be about for all of us, is how do we become the best version of ourselves in every moment that we're alive? As we're breathing in this minute, are we the best version? And what steps do we take to be the best version? It came to me that it sometimes needs to be the smallest of messages, the smallest of things, the smallest of steps. One of the things I've been doing, which has been really critical to me, is clearing out the clutter. Now, if we hear about decluttering, and there are people that are great at it and people that clutter, and I'm not a hoarder, thank goodness. I feel sorry for anyone that is. It's a cruel psychological experience. But I've been hanging on to stuff, and it's been in boxes, and it's been in beliefs, and it's been in my wardrobe even. It's been stuff that I've hung on to because it meant something, or it was part of something. It reflected some sort of my history. It was something that had some perceived meaning. And these last couple of weeks, since January the 1st, I've been on a mission to declutter. And it's amazing because some of the stuff I've had for 10, 15 years, some 5, some not so long, but they represent and they reflect parts of where my life has been at. And in the process of this decluttering, the crazy thing is I've procrastinated about it for so long, it's insane. And when I decided to do it, when I actually took the action, and that's the critical message, taking the action, I was so bloody surprised at how quick it all happened. One box of just basic paper crap that was personal papers and bits and pieces that I'd even forgotten I had, gone in, I think, 90 minutes it took me. I've had that box for 5 years. 90 minutes that it took for me to go through and say, you know what, let's clear it now. I made it easy on myself though, and let's not, I don't want to fluff over that it was easy, because it wasn't easy. It took planning. I took out 3 other boxes that I'd had as storage boxes that were empty. I labelled one as shredding for personal papers, the other one for recycling, for being sensible about paper that could just go in the recycling bin. And the other was just strictly rubbish, stuff that you can't do anything else with. And my God, how quickly did I fill those boxes? It was so easy once I had a plan and a structure. And decluttering is like that. You've got to declutter your mind as well. In anything you do, always go about it with an absolute mission, a passion, and a desire, knowing that if you do it, once it is done, the burden you've been carrying emotionally for such a long time will just literally be lifted off your shoulders. I'm feeling in myself so much better within myself as the person that I am here right now speaking with you. I'm feeling phenomenally better over one box of papers. And it got me thinking, what's the rest of my life potentially going to be like if I start doing all this decluttering stuff? And I mean stuff. It's not just the boxes. It's the psychological stuff. And it got me to undertaking some of my personal development processes that I used to really live and breathe years and years and years ago, when I really needed them as a fairly mixed up and rather damaged younger person. What I started to do was a lot of breathing process. And now may sound to some a bit crazy, breathing, really? We all do it? Well, surprisingly, no. Breathing is, because it's so innate, because it's one of those I think it's the word is autonomic nervous systems. In other words, our nervous system does it automatically for us from the brain center at the back of the skull. We do these things. It's what we have to do to survive. When we're unaware of how our physical body is involved in those processes, the lungs, the rib cage, the muscles, just the psychological control we have over our breathing, without thinking about it, we probably don't realize just how much we stop ourselves from breathing fully. And a lot of the process that stops us is unresolved fear, it's anger, it's psychological stuff. But honestly, once you start to walk yourself through the process of permission to breathe, permission to walk into that space that carries that dark, or maybe not so dark, but maybe frightening or cloudy or I'm not sure. We all describe it differently, but for me it was a dark space. You're walking into that emotionally dark space within yourself. Once you start breathing through it and giving yourself permission to feel safe and okay there, it's like that also was like decluttering. It's all of a sudden these things that were so difficult to face are less difficult. You begin to realize you're in a different space today to the person you were that went through that whatever stuff that is holding you back. And I found that as we do the breathing and do this permission granting thing and releasing and all this amazing stuff that our brains are capable of, once we do that, our breathing just suddenly inflates and we can just take this most amazingly deep breath. And it's really quite invigorating. But it's also reassuring because it tells us that once you do that, you become aware of just how much you're holding on. So the overall message I want to share with you today is don't be afraid to let go. Don't be afraid to hang on to this moment in time as a realization that it's time to let go. I know it sounds silly saying hang on to this moment as a moment to let go. Hold it, be aware of it, come to the fore with it, be mindful of it, be present with it. Be aware that it's time and it's okay. And by letting go, we start to realize that we can give ourselves permission, and we give ourselves inner strength, and we start to find inner courage where once fear was the biggest demon inside of ourselves. So one of the things that's really critical for my business and myself personally going forward is declutter. Remove all of those things that are holding you back. Take steps. For some, baby steps will be phenomenal. Take those baby steps. Take the action. Make sure you know what you're doing. Plan it. Talk to a mentor. Get some coaching. Get some guidance. Talk with me. If I can help you, I would love to. What we want to be able to do is let go so that we can make space for the things that we want to bring into our lives. Be open to new things. Take that baby step. For some of you, it'll be a massive big step and you'll be just like, yeah, right, this is fantastic, awesome. Do that if that's your place. Whatever it is, it's right for you, but do it. Action is the most important thing to take away from all of this. Take the action. Without taking the action, you're going to be festering, and you don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be holding on. You don't want to be bogged down. You don't want all of that stuff, because even as I say those words, I can feel the dark and tense power of them, and I don't want that in my world, and I know that you don't want it in yours. Breathe into all of these dark, angry emotions. Breathe them out with an absolute sense of permission to be the best version of yourself. Let's declutter. Let's grab hold of 2018 and give it absolutely the best version of you that you've got. And let's follow on this journey to make 2018 a truly successful year for us all. Have a fabulously, very sticky hot Melbourne day. If you're not in Melbourne, have an awesome day wherever you are. And it's been awesome to share this message with you. All right, talk to you soon.